one of our first meetings of the Rice Biotechnology Network, in fact, the first meeting of the network was held here in Manila in conjunction with one of the major rice genetic congresses. Our meeting went first, took place here at Erie, and then we all moved into Manila for the big Rice Genetics Congress. And just before that Congress, Tanksley's group had published their molecular map in TAG, Theoretical and Applied Genetics. And the paper had come out, McCooch, and there were about 3 other names, and Tanksley, the way that most U.S. papers come out, with the students that do the work and then the lead professor's name at the end. In Asia, at least at that time, that usually wasn't the way the names came out on papers. It was usually the lead professor first, and then other people afterwards. Anyways, that paper came out in TAG, and the Cornell group had basically scooped the Japanese group, because the Japanese group had not yet published their genetic map. And I didn't realize at the time, but the Japanese really took that as a bit of almost an insult, because rice genetics was their field, and here was this upstart group in the U.S. that published the first rice molecular genetic map. And at this meeting here in Manila, the Tanksley map was going to be presented, and was going to be presented by Susan McCooch. I don't know if you know Susan, but very attractive, tall woman, at that time with hair that went down almost all the way down her back. And at this Rice Genetics Congress, at that particular time, it was really dominated by Japanese. Japanese were doing most of the work. So there were about 400 people in the audience, 300 Japanese, and then a few others. And I'm sure the Japanese thought that the McCooch that appeared in this paper was the head professor at Cornell University, white-haired professor and the like. And so the moderator, the person who was running the session, invited Dr. McCooch to come up and give this presentation of the paper that had already appeared and had scooped the Japanese. And Susan McCooch stood up and began walking up. And you could just hear this murmur across the McCooch, and they just couldn't believe that this young, attractive woman had scooped them. Not only had they been scooped, but they'd been scooped by a woman. That set off what actually turned out to be a very constructive competition between the Japanese. I mean, they reinvigorated their effort to get their map done and published.